This is the Pngtv Live News. I'm Quintina Naime. The body of a newborn baby was discovered early this morning at Jack Piddick Park in Port Moresby. The infant is believed to have been delivered and abandoned by its mother. Police report that the incident happened around 4 o'clock this morning at Jack Piddick Park area. Night Patrol Officer Constable Emmanuel Rangan tells Pngtv Live a woman was heard screaming at the location where the body was found.
Reliable sources interviewed few people. She came. What come on come sit down low side, low road. She was struggling. They saw her struggling, but they didn't know what was happening. And then she ran up 5 mile, 1,000.
According to an eyewitness who was up drinking with friends at his residence opposite Jack Piddick Park, they heard cries of a woman from the park minutes before the body of the infant was found.
I'm looking down. I'm looking at porret. I'm not thinking of corrosion the man blame. So, okay, I'm porret. I'm run come gonta. I'm run kind after I'm run come gonta lem. A boy style outside lo. And I'm a stage lem. One double come like go around for my lem. And like I'm go around for my lem, bung him slab. And I'm a body baby asleep lo. Side lo and I'm at road. Now I'm looking to see and drink, so I'm run come across now. Ask him blood. People look on the marina.
By the time it was too late to identify the woman, police were at the crime scene at 6 a.m. and waited for forensic officers to take the body to conduct investigations. The forensic officers were on site few hours later and took fingerprints. Investigations by the forensic NCID are now underway. Constable Rangan says it's a serious crime and the mother can be charged for murder.
You got charged with them, it's very serious. If law catches up with them, they'll be charged for murder. This is a human being life, live animal. So.
Parents of students attending a primary school in the nation's capital have undertaken their own fundraising drive to renovate the school's toilet blocks. This comes after it was deemed a health risk by NCD health inspectors who ordered the school to be closed last week Wednesday. Pngtv Primary School in Hohola in the Moresby Northwest electorate has its concerned parents and community members working frantically to clean and renovate their 2 toilet blocks in the hopes of getting their students back in school as early as next week. Kaligan Tanda reports.
Pngtv Primary School in Hohola has closed its classrooms and gates as of last week Wednesday in accordance with a decision of the NCD health inspector who deemed the school's only 2 toilet blocks a health risk for the 2,200 students attending elementary and primary classes. Headmaster for the school, Colin Hobart, confirmed that the state of the toilets had been an ongoing problem for the school.
Mainly the toilet system. It's very old and deteriorated. We cannot accommodate the number of 2,200 students. That is including the primary and the elementary.
Since project fees have been banned under the government's tuition fee-free policy, the school board and parents and community members have been forced to fundraise from their own pockets to meet the cost of the partial renovation. Since their combined meeting last Saturday, they hope to raise 20,000 kina from an agreed amount of 10 kina per child to be sponsored by parents.
And it's very nice that parents have started contributing, and we already started to work on the toilet, and our youths around here came in with the help of the parents taking a contribution. They have started work already, and certainly by the end of this week, and I'm sure that the toilet will be completed.
Volunteers from the community have been working as fast as they can to complete the cleanup and eventual repairs of the toilet bowls, cisterns and missing sinks and taps.
Mi blagen ardo describes da bagrabloch da. O kra kain kan toilet plastic one pull up roach da shurit one now. Mi blaros important okra sandin blarosim. So I think now mi blag cleaning mugurana. One so mi blaga tintin mi blas ben community member lo ola one slab mi blagim School blom bla back so me bla. Walk him to walk now.
Apart from this major challenge, Pngtv Primary School is in dire need of maintenance to its classrooms, desks and other facilities. The wait will still be on for the students as the health inspectors will have to give their approval after the cleanup and renovations are complete. Kalagantanda, Pngtv Live.
Today marks World TB Day, and in Papua New Guinea, this illness claims at least 3,000 lives each year, according to the World Health Organization. The theme for World TB Day in PNG is Leaders for Ending TB in PNG, which also highlighted political will in assisting with treatment, awareness, and preventing the spread of TB in our communities by taking a stand in changing mindset and enabling a clean environment for our people. Anyone can get tuberculosis or TB, and the message is clear this year: get tested now. Belinda Cora reports.
This was further demonstrated during the 2018 World TB Day Expo at the Sejongkai Stadium and attended by partners in the fight against TB and city health authorities and the Health Minister Dr. Pukatemo. The expo was set up by Stop TB partners led by NCD Health and the Health Department with the support of the World Health Organization and targeted NCD residents, both young and old, to know more about the silent killer in their community. In NCD, where the main event will be observed and a quarter of PNG's TB cases prevail, the theme is Let's Kick TB Out of NCD, and the leaders who were present demonstrated this well. TB is an illness caused by a germ that is breathed into the lungs, which puts everyone, even babies, at risk because of the air we breathe. The symptoms include coughing for more than 3 weeks, weight loss, and those that are at a higher risk of getting TB include babies who are fed unhealthy meals, smokers, betel nut chewers, alcoholics, and those who smoke illegal drugs. The minister emphasized also on families and communities that live in crowded homes and villages, including suburbs with little to no ventilation, an issue he wants NCDC to look into.
Illegal settlement is coming up with houses close to. It's your legal responsibility to go to that illegal property that has been erected that day to go and remove it. The building more, you have to come good.
Those also at a higher risk of getting TB are those living with HIV and have other diseases such as diabetes. Port Moresby currently has 14 NCD TB clinics that offer free testing and treatment. They are currently located in areas like 9 Mile, Badili, UPNG, Gordons, and 6 Mile. Belinda Cora, Pngtv Live.
Work is progressing to migrate all refugees and non-refugees on Manus Island by the end of 2018. The Papua New Guinea Immigration and Citizenship Authority has completed all processing and identified about 400 refugees and 100 non-refugees. Since the closure of the Manus Regional Processing Center at Lombrum on the 31st of October 2017, the refugees and non-refugees relocated to camps set up in Lorengau. The detainees are now living at the East Lorengau Refugee Transit Center and new campsite at Ward 1. 85 refugees have traveled to resettle in the United States over the last 5 months after successfully undergoing the screening process carried out by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. 415 detainees are left on Manus Island, including 315 refugees yet to be resettled. Immigration and Border Security Minister Petrus Thomas says they are working with Australia to resettle the remaining refugees in a third country.
The state team is communicating with the Australia Department of Homeland Affairs. We have the state team led by Chief Secretary and of course CMO. Negotiating with the Department of Homeland Affairs in Australia to work on strategies to reduce the caseload.
Minister Thomas adds they are now working on a specific time frame to complete the resettlement process.
Once Australia and PNG agree on a time frame, then we will make an announcement, and it will be shown when Australia should resettle all the refugees we have in Manus.
He says more positive determinations under the resettlement deal are expected in the near future for some of the remaining refugees. Principal of law firm embroiled in the saga involving the arrest warrant issued for Prime Minister Peter O'Neill is now taking legal action against those involved in the demise of his firm and name. Paul Paraka of Paraka Lawyers is on a warpath to seek damages estimated to be in billions of kina and even imprisonment of those involved in the scandal that lasted 5 years. Kaligan Tanda reports.
It's my turn now. It's my time now. They'll never run away from me, guys.
These were the words of Paul Paraka, the principal of Paraka Lawyers, as he announced the start of his legal action to clear his name and claim damages for losses he suffered in the last 5 years when he was arrested and charged in October 2013 by the Investigation Task Force sweep team. Paraka stated that the last 5 years had been difficult for him to speak out because no one would hear his side of the story. And now the dust had finally settled for him to bring proceedings against 16 defendants, the majority of whom are from the government. In his originating summons filed on the 8th of this month, Paraka has named, along with the state, as defendants parliamentarians such as Prime Minister Peter O'Neill, Foreign Affairs Minister Ringbing Pato, former Attorney General Karen Gakua, members of the Investigation Task Force sweep team, Waigani District Court magistrates, and IRC Commissioner Betty Palazzo, other government officers, and even Bank South Pacific.
Those individuals who screwed me up, and they're going to pay me big compensation for destroying the biggest law firm in this country. I'll make sure they pay that from their own pockets. If they don't have the money to pay, I'll have them declared bankrupt. They lost all their jobs and privileges that they have, and they'll walk on the streets of the city of Port Moresby just the way I struggled.
The reliefs sought by Paraka in his summons include the judicial review and nullifying of decisions by the National Executive Council. This includes the decision to establish the Investigation Task Force sweep team and even decisions by respective cabinet members. This includes the decision by the IRC to impose a tax assessment sum of 96 million kina and statutory garnishing notices against Paraka to all banks, and also the cancellation of his passport by then Attorney General Karen Gakua. The lawyer claims to have over 100 grounds to support his claim, which he has compiled over the last 5 years.
I have in excess of 100 points, 100 grounds, under every laws that you can find in this country, under all the statutory laws passed by those bunch of stupid guys in the Florida Parliament, under the Constitution. And in totality, I got in excess of 100 points, guys. I'm the most happiest, the most relaxed man, knowing very well that my time is now coming.
Paraka is seeking damages and compensation for the loss of business, which he claims was the single largest law firm in PNG at the time, with close to 2,000 employees operating in all 22 provinces. He claims the firm had lost all its clients, numbering almost 160,000 since its collapse in July 2013. His claim for loss of client and business is at 650 million kina per year for the last 5 years now, which amounts to 3.25 billion kina in total. This is apart from his claim of 500 million kina in the cost of building the firm over a 25-year period, as well as 950 million kina in the recovery of business income lost at the time of the closure of the firm's operations. Claims for future loss of clients and business over the next 25 years at a rate of 650 million kina per year brings the total to 16.25 billion kina.
I get my business back, I get my money, I get the politics.
Recent failure of the state lawyer to appear this week in court has seen the National Court issue an order to the Solicitor General to appear in court next Tuesday on the 27th of March at 9:30 a.m. Meanwhile, in response, Prime Minister Peter O'Neill did not want to comment on the summons at this point, but says Mr. Paraka can utilize the courts to prove his innocence. Kaligantanda, Pngtv Live.
And you're watching Pngtv Live News. More after this break. Welcome back. You're watching Pngtv Live News. The International Committee of the Red Cross is focused on rehabilitation of health centers in areas where it is present that were affected by last month's earthquake. Head of Mission Mark Kessler tells Pngtv Live Red Cross has so far provided rations and shelter for 584 displaced people in Nipa Kutubu, Southern Highlands. Gregory Avira with more.
Relief into the quake-affected areas continues 3 weeks on. Providing food, water and medical supply and temporary shelter continues to be the focus of the relief effort. International Humanitarian Institution (ICRC) has been on ground to help since the quake hit. Its head of mission in the country, Mark Kessler, tells Pngtv Live ICRC has existing presence in some of the areas affected and was able to assist promptly.
We have the advantage that we already have teams up there and ongoing programs. And what we basically did is we're reshaping the programs now towards earthquake response. We are getting in extra resources, so we're getting in a 2 months extra engineer from Thailand. We're getting an extra logistician from Philippines. And we have asked headquarters for extra funding for assistance programs and water programs. But per se, we have not asked for a whole lot of money. We're just reallocating budgets that have already been there.
Through its existing support programs, the ICRC says it will continue to do what it can to assist those affected. Kessler says they have assisted in fixing the district health center in Koroba and will assist in rehabilitating others destroyed in the area.
We will focus more on the infrastructural part of the response, so fixing up health posts, health clinics and hospitals. We have provided Mendi Hospital with dressing kits for about 2,000 additional patients, and we will continue providing services or support to the FSCs.
450 people in the Nipa area and 134 others in Kutubu have received temporary shelter from ICRC since the quake hit the Ella and Southern Islands province. Gregory Avira, Pngtv Live.
And good news for those applying for dual citizenship. The Papua New Guinea Immigration and Citizenship Authority is looking to speed up the assessment process for citizenship applications. The new Citizenship Advisory Committee has been tasked to assess the applications and make recommendations. A good number of applicants for dual citizenship have been living in Papua New Guinea for the last 40 years. Member of the Citizenship Advisory Committee and Chief Migration Officer Solomon Kantha says currently the process of granting citizenship is timely. He explains the citizenship application is not like a visa application where they have a fixed period of assessments. Kantha says the reports are dependent on the organizations that need to supply information to them for an assessment.
Majority of those applicants reside in NCD, and we are hoping that in the next few days we'll be able to go through with the first batch of applicants, and hopefully before the end of the year we can get rid of the current caseload that we have.
So far, they have received most of the reports from relevant agencies that they had written to and are hoping to have a meeting by each quarter. There are currently 60 outstanding applicants for dual citizenship that will be assessed by the Citizenship Advisory Committee.
And sometimes if we don't get reports from critical agencies, we still have to follow up and wait, and that adds to the process and certain delays.
Most of the dual citizenship applicants have been part of the development of Papua New Guinea in terms of business. Financial service provider MoneyPlus has opened a new branch in downtown Port Moresby with 8 more branches to follow through, one sanctioned by the Bank of Papua New Guinea. Officiating at the ceremony, PNG Bank Deputy Governor Ellison Pirik commended the organization for its contribution towards the country's development, particularly in the area of financial service. Pirik said the expansion exercise was in line with government policies, emphasizing the promotion of financial inclusion. First is Maganap with this report.
Opening its doors to customers in the central business district of PNG's capital city is just the first step in its expansion exercise. Heduru Money Limited, trading as Money Plus, is keen on branching out, with the application for having 8 more branches in Ley, Mount Hagen, Kokopo, Alotau, Medang, Kiunga, Kwikila and Buka now before the central bank, awaiting sanctioning. In his speech, the central bank's deputy governor congratulated the financial institution, saying the bank had trust and confidence in the business.
Creation of wealth is very important, and there's no better starting point to create wealth than to have access.
Heduru Money Limited was incorporated and commenced business in 1998 as a financial service provider through the vision and stewardship of Bernard Chan. Its operations then were solely on financial intermediary, offering individuals a borrowing avenue. It was then issued a full license status in 2006 to operate as a financial institution, giving the ability to raise deposits from public and expand its lending portfolio. The company has since expanded into asset finance to meet demands in the commercial sector. But that wasn't all. 6 years later, the company created an online foreign exchange delivery service, adding innovation to its portfolio.
I'm proud to see the second branch open now, and hopefully in the next few more years, more and more coming. I hope that's in line with the bank's policy.
We will be bringing in services closer to people all across the provinces, which will also see some of the products which have not been introduced to PNG so far.
Money Plus is determined to branch out into all 22 provinces, a way forward, it says, to providing financial services to the rural population, the branches in the provincial centers, as sales point of representation. Festus Maigana, Pngtv Live.
You're watching Pngtv Live News. More after this break. Welcome back. You're watching Pngtv Live News. Oil Search's BNG Biomass project in the Makam Valley is a long-term renewable energy initiative aimed at assisting the PNG government in achieving increased electricity to at least 70% of its consumer base by 2030. Pngtv Live managed to speak to Jesse Mitir during the PNG Petroleum and Energy Summit to highlight how this 25-year-old project is changing lives in the Makam Valley. Belinda Cora with more.
After accessing land in the Makam Valley 6 years ago, following feasibility studies, trees were then planted with the assistance of locals within the area. The project will use wood chips from trees sustainably grown and harvested in surrounding plantations to fuel a biomass power plant to provide up to 30 megawatts into the Ramo grid. Communities around the area are also encouraged to use this project for their own benefit as well.
When we access land, we pay them land rentals, but not only that, but they do on a daily basis to maintenance in the field, so they do take part in that. Also, we do not want to disengage them from the land, so when we plant the trees in between, we do intercropping as well, so they have the option of planting their own crops. So the ones that have really done well are watermelons and cucumbers.
This biomass renewable energy project will establish PNG's first biomass steam cycle plant and assist the government's commitment to expanding access to power and implementing renewable energy targets. The project is supported by a 25-year power purchase agreement that was signed with PNG Power Limited in December of 2015. Under this agreement, this project will generate up to 30 megawatts of renewable biomass-fired reliable base load power for the Ramo grid, with power delivery commencing 2020. After harvesting in 2020, families around the area will also benefit from crop sharing benefits,
as well as carbon shares that they'll be given. So there are 3 streams of benefits there for them: land rentals, carbon share, and crop share, and there's also employment for them and intercropping.
A business group has also been set up for landowners around the area, with close to 50 skilled workers assisting in this project.
But also we have the core team under the Markham Valley Biomass that's really providing the service for them. But most contracts will be under the business group, which is called Ziffering Business Group.
To sporting news, the recent Cricket World Cup qualifiers provided the Hebo PNG Barramundis the opportunity to play elite-level cricket as they played West Indies and Ireland among other teams in Zimbabwe. Barramundis lost their one-day international or ODI status in Zimbabwe and are looking immediately on how to attain it. National team coach Joe Dawes says the long-term plan now is to regain the opportunity to play that level of cricket, a plan that will be deeply benefited by regular competition against top-tier teams, something so lacking for all associate countries. Dawes was devastated with the results his side came home with, but valued the match experience against some champion cricketers. He says it's a good competition, but there is a part of it that is very brutal, and that is 4 years of hard work that can be undone in one day. Dawes reveals it is heartbreaking to think that the team constantly achieved over a long period of time to be able to make it to Zimbabwe on the basis of their league standing during the ICC World Cricket League Championships to be elated with the attainment of ODI status given to only 16 teams in the world. The rules meant that Papua New Guinea will have to work hard to regain that status. Dawes believes it's time to focus on the youth and invest in them. He says there are lots of domestic competitions about to start, and they will be on the lookout for youth that are constantly making match-winning innings in those domestic competitions. While Barramundis didn't get the results they wanted from some games in Zimbabwe, Dawes says they have been able to develop a clear plan for moving the group forward. The Papua New Guinea Netball National Selection Camp is underway this weekend at the Sejong Guys Indoor Complex in Port Moresby. This is the third selection trials aimed to select the final team to the regional World Cup qualifiers in New Zealand from the 17th to the 21st of April. The top 2 countries from this tournament will represent the Oceania region at the 2019 World Cup in England. The 20-member train-on squad are undergoing 2 days training sessions, including skills session in attack, defense, and shooting. With an initial 49 players, the team was trimmed to 20 players after the second selection camp and will be further cut to the final 12 tomorrow. Half of the team are newcomers to international netball. Netball PNG's high-performance coordinator, Mona Lisa Leka, tells Pngtv Live winning gold at the Vanuatu Mini Pacific Games has given the team a good platform. Leka says despite losing few top players like Lua Rikis, Winnie Mavara, and Kilala Owen, they will be banking on regulars Jacqueline Lahari, Neritha Adula, Tiata Baldwin, and Japeth Tulapi to continue the momentum in terms of their experience in holding the team together. And that's where we end the Pngtv Live News Bulletin. From myself and the news team, pleasant viewing. Good night.